Hi, welcome back. To round out my current series on Roborock, I'll be comparing all the models, current and past. My goal for this video is to give you an overview of the whole product range, how each differs, and the hierarchy. Please note I'll exclude the Roborock H6 here since it's a cordless stick vacuum, and I'll focus only on robot vacuums. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's get started. Roborock has been around since 2014 and has come a long way since launching its first product, the Xiaomi MI Robot Vacuum. A lot has changed since then, with several new features introduced along the way, culminating with the S7 that was launched recently. Currently, Roborock has around 9 models available, grouped into 2 main categories. The E series is the least expensive, but these robots don't have the laser navigation found in the S series, and a big reason why it's cheaper. Despite not having LiDAR, it still navigates efficiently. Thanks to the dual gyroscopes and optical sensor underneath, Roborock calls the optic eye. It's one of the cheapest robot vacuums I've tested with recharge and resume. Next in the hierarchy is the S series. All options here have LiDAR and SLAM, so users will have access to live maps, containment, and map saving features. Furthermore, the S series has its own hierarchy based on features. Most options here are 2-in-1 robot vacuum and mop hybrids that function as such. There's the S4 series, S5 series, S6 series, and the latest S7. Only the S5 Max, S6 MaxV, and S7 have electronic water tanks, while other models have gravity tanks. The S5 Max was the first Roborock with an electronic water tank, while the S7 has the latest mopping technology called VibraRise. The S6 MaxV is the only option here with a front-facing camera and artificial intelligence, helping it avoid smaller obstacles better than any other robot here. The S4 and S4 Max are the only 2 options without the mopping feature, enabling Roborock to push the cost down further. Previously, Roborock had a C series in its lineup that had the most basic features and random navigation. But with subsequent releases of these new models, Roborock has discontinued some of the older variants, and I'll explain later why this information is crucial. Of all the models here, these are the ones I've tested, so I can only provide data for these. I did not include the Xiaomi MI Robot Vacuum since it isn't part of the official product list. All Roborock options here have a round frame with roughly the same dimensions. The C10 and E series minus the laser sensor have a lower profile design, so it fits under furniture with less clearance. Roborock seems to be adopting a universal design for its more recent models. I'm talking about the S4 Max, S5 Max, S6 Pure, and S6 MaxV. This means all have the same brush and dustbin placements. The brushes and dustbin for these variants are interchangeable. However, the latest S7 model uses a new dustbin and brush roll design. I mentioned in a previous video that the brush was backward compatible, but that wasn't the case since the metal bars will rub against the flaps and create friction. The S7 cover will not fit in the older models. I've read comments suggesting removing the metal bars, but I wouldn't recommend it if it's under warranty. Also, Roborock will release an auto-empty dock soon for the S7, which will empty the dustbin automatically. But there's no date yet when this will be released. The C and E series robots have the largest dustbin capacities at 640 ml, while more recent S series robots have the same volume at 460 ml. The S7 is slightly larger by 10 ml, but with the auto-empty feature coming out soon, capacity shouldn't be a concern. Except for the C10, all Roborock options have smart navigation. Both the E series and S series will navigate in straight lines. However, only the S series robots provide more control, like adjusting the number of passes, selecting what room to clean, and save maps. Roborock introduced further enhancement in the S7, one of which is the crisscross cleaning pattern. Roborock says that only recent releases like the S4 Max, S5 Max, S6 Pure, and S6 MaxV will benefit from this update soon. Unfortunately, older variants like the S4 or S5 will not. Please check my review on the S7, which I'll link to below for more information about these latest features. The E series doesn't have these advanced features and will only go around the area once, so it lacks thoroughness, which hampers its performance on carpet. But it's smarter than robot vacuums with random navigation and better at avoiding obstacles. All E series and S series robots are great at traversing even in tight spaces. I've tested these robots extensively, and Roborock is one of the best at it. According to Roborock, the S7 and the S6 MaxV have the most suction at 2,500 pascals. Other options except for the C10 have 2,000 pascals. However, airflow results don't follow these numbers. In the tests I did, the S4 Max got the highest scores, followed by the E4. So it's not surprising that these two got some of the best scores on hard floors, even on sand. For the E4, these results were impressive because it only goes around once, but the one pass run hampers its performance on carpet. Strangely, the S7 had the lowest airflow scores with around 13 CFM. One reason for this could be the larger surface area of the new all-rubber brush, hampering airflow. There isn't much of a difference with surface debris pickup as all options picked up in the high 90s on average, but deep cleaning results on embedded sand vary. The S5 Max was the best, while the E4 was the worst, mainly because it only went around once. All these options are decent at resisting hair tangles. The S5 Max is the best at 5-inch strands, but expect similar results on longer 7-inch strands. Don't expect any of these models to resist 100% of tangles since it doesn't have any anti-tangle system, so you'll have to remove hair wrapping on a brush. Though the S7 is the easiest to clean since it doesn't have any bristles. Edge cleaning is decent for most Roborock options, with the S4 Max, S6 Pure, and S7 getting the best results based on the eye test. However, the round frame and the single side brush design hinder its potential. Other brands with two side brushes I tested did better, like the Ecovacs T8 and iLife A10. Mopping performance will vary. The S7 was the most efficient with the vibrating pad and cleaned these stains after the second pass. In contrast, the S5 Max and S6 MaxV took longer and required a second run to remove these stains, but the results are much better than gravity tanks. Options with such did worse since there's no way of controlling flow. Water will continually drip until it's empty, resulting in an oversaturated pad that isn't optimal for mopping. Oftentimes, it leaves watermarks as the pad is too wet, unlike electronic tanks that just release enough water to keep the pad damp without oversaturating it. Another disadvantage of gravity tanks is the lower capacity, so range won't be as good. Noise levels will range between 58 and 69 decibels. However, specific models are noisier like the S5 and S7. Others will max out at just under 66 decibels. So Roborock did an excellent job at muffling noise for these models. All options are compatible with either the Xiaomi or Roborock app. Older variants like the S5 won't be compatible with the Roborock app, but I don't think this should be a concern as both have the same core features. Obviously, E-series robots like the E4 won't have access to advanced navigational features like live maps or containment. These are reserved for the S-series robots with LiDAR and SLAM. Unfortunately, the S5 doesn't have some of the features found in the newer S5 Max, like the automatic map recognition feature or the quick start guide for creating new maps. It does retain features like invisible wall and no-go zones. There will be variations. For instance, the S6 MaxV has a camera tab where users can activate and use the front-mounted camera as a CCTV so they can see what the robot sees. The S7 has a deep mode where it disables the vacuum motor and makes tighter turns. Core functionality will remain the same across all S-series variants from live maps, containment, to map saving. So which Roborock option is the best? For me, the S5 Max offers the best value for money as it's the best overall at cleaning debris while still yielding above average mopping results. The S7 is the most efficient option for mopping and has mop-only mode not found in older variants. It also has the rise feature so you don't have to remove the pad on transitions or set no mop zones. The S4 Max is an excellent option for users who don't need the mopping feature. Its high airflow makes it a compelling alternative for hard floors while still being decent on carpet. Let me know in the comment section which of these options you'd choose. Consider giving this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful to you. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updates for new comparisons like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.